Ethan Voss had always been fascinated by the stories of humanity's first ventures into the stars. Even as a child, he had stared at old photographs in dusty books, imagining worlds that no one had ever touched. Now, as an adult and a historian working with the interstellar archives, he found himself on a colony far from Earth, cataloging relics of human history scattered across distant planets. The colony, called Novara, was nothing like the bustling cities of Earth. It hung suspended in the dark expanse of space, a cluster of silver towers connected by glowing bridges. Novara's inhabitants were not human, they were the Altherians, an alien species known for their delicate, translucent skin that shimmered like opal in the colony's soft lights. Their eyes, large and reflective, seemed to look not just at objects but through them, as if they could see the hidden memories behind every shape. Ethan had always believed that humans left a mark on the galaxy, not just through exploration but through the stories and emotions we carried. That belief had driven him here, to a quiet wing of the colony called the Hollow Archive, where centuries of recorded memories from both humans and Altherians were kept. On that particular morning, Ethan was carrying a small, worn photo frame he had found in one of Earth's old interstellar shipments. The image inside showed a young woman with warm brown eyes and a gentle smile. Her hair curled softly around her shoulders, catching the light in a way that made her seem almost alive, even on the faded paper. Ethan paused, holding the photograph carefully. This is her, he thought, his heart tightening. His fiancée, Amara, had been thousands of light years away on Earth, working as an astrophysicist. They had communicated through video calls and messages for years, but the distance had never made the feelings fade. In fact, seeing her in this old photo made him miss her more than ever. As he walked into the Hollow Archive, the Altherian archivist, Lyra, was already there. She was small and elegant, her translucent skin shimmering with hints of green and gold. Unlike many Altherians, who rarely expressed strong emotions openly, Lyra's gestures were gentle, almost human-like. She looked up as Ethan approached. "Good morning, Mr. Voss," she said softly, her voice carrying a musical quality. "Are you ready to begin today's cataloging?" Ethan smiled, though a shadow of unease lingered in his eyes. "Yes. I found something I want you to see," he said, holding out the photo. Lyra's large eyes widened slightly as she took the photograph. She didn't speak immediately. Instead, she studied it, tilting her head as if trying to memorize every line, every curve of the woman's face. Ethan watched her, curious at her reaction. Then, in a voice so quiet it almost seemed like a whisper, she said, "I miss her so much." Ethan froze. What did she just say? I'm sorry," he said carefully. "I think there's been a mistake. That's my fiancée." Lyra's eyes did not leave the photograph. Her fingers, delicate and translucent, traced the outline of the woman's face as if she could feel the warmth of her smile through the paper. "No mistake," she whispered again. "I remember her." Ethan's brow furrowed. "Remember her? How? How could you remember her? She's on Earth. She hasn't been here. She's never met your people." Lyra shook her head slowly. "Not her body. Not that version. But her essence. Her laughter. Her kindness. They were recorded long ago, when humans first shared memories with our archives. She left traces. And now, in some small way, I can feel her." Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. He had studied interstellar history for years, but he had never imagined that human emotions could survive across light years, influencing other beings in ways even we did not understand. "Traces?" he asked cautiously. "Like a recording?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, but not like a recording on your Earth devices. More alive. When humans first traveled to our system decades ago, some of their emotional memories were captured in the colony's early quantum archives. They did not know it. But their feelings, their love, their hope, even their laughter, were stored here. She paused, looking at Ethan with an intensity that made him swallow. And sometimes, when a human comes near, we can feel it again, especially the ones we were meant to know. Ethan's mind raced. The idea was incredible. It was impossible. Yet here was evidence he could see and touch. So, you can feel her? Not just see her, but really feel her? Lyra's gaze softened. Yes, it is faint at first, like a memory from a dream. But some humans, they leave marks stronger than others. They resonate. Ethan held the photo closer to himself. Amara's smile seemed brighter somehow, more alive in this alien light. He thought about all the messages they had sent, all the nights they had talked about the stars and the future. Somehow, those moments, combined with her natural warmth, had left a ripple that now reached across the galaxy. "Show me," he said, voice barely above a whisper. "Show me how this works." Lyra nodded and led him to a small chamber in the archive, lined with softly glowing panels. At her touch, the panels lit up with faint holographic images, memories from the colony's archives, some human, some Altherian, overlapping like threads in a tapestry. Lyra held her hand over one panel, and a small image flickered into life. It was a scene of a woman, smiling and laughing, her eyes exactly like Amara's. Ethan's breath caught. "It's her," he said. "But this isn't from Earth." "How?" Lyra smiled faintly. "It is a fragment of what humans leave behind. Not just actions, not just words, but the way they make others feel. Those feelings, they linger. They touch everything, sometimes even us." For a long moment, Ethan simply watched the image, mesmerized. He could feel the warmth, the joy, and the hope she carried. It was a simple, human happiness. Yet it seemed so powerful here, so alive among the stars. "Humans are remarkable," Lyra whispered. "Even when we do not understand them fully, we cannot ignore the mark they leave." Ethan nodded slowly. He had always known humanity was special, but seeing it through Lyra's eyes, seeing how even an alien species could sense the emotional weight humans carried, made him proud in a way he had never imagined. Pride, yes, but also humility. They had left pieces of themselves behind without ever knowing, and those pieces were now part of the universe in a way he had never thought possible. Can I bring her here?" Ethan asked softly. "Not physically, of course, but can I share her with the archive somehow?" Lyra considered him, her eyes shining. "It will take time. Memories are delicate, and emotions even more so. But yes, we can try. And perhaps, in doing so, we will learn more about humans, and about ourselves." Ethan smiled, feeling a spark of excitement. It was strange, even a little magical, that he could reach across the stars and leave part of Amara with beings who had never met her. Yet, in that moment, he understood the truth that the Altherians had glimpsed long ago. Humans were more than explorers, more than travelers. They were feelings made flesh, hope made tangible, and their presence could change worlds in ways no one could have predicted. As the day went on, Ethan and Lyra began the delicate work of translating human memories into forms that the Altherians could experience fully. Every laugh, every gentle gesture, every word of kindness was carefully encoded. And each time, Lyra's eyes would soften, her fingers brushing the holographic panels with awe and respect. By the time the twin suns of Novara began to set, casting golden light across the translucent towers, Ethan held the photo once more. Amara's eyes seemed to glow faintly in the dimming light, and for the first time since he had left Earth, he felt as though distance no longer mattered. Humanity had reached across the stars, leaving traces of its warmth in the most unlikely places. And somewhere, in the quiet shimmer of Novara's towers, an Altherian whispered to herself once again, "I miss her so much." Ethan smiled, realizing that even across galaxies, human emotions could inspire wonder, connection, and hope. The following morning, Ethan returned to the hollow archive with a sense of determination. He could still feel the gentle echo of Amara's presence lingering from yesterday. Every time he closed his eyes, he could see her smile reflected in Lyra's eyes, as if the galaxy itself remembered her. Lyra was already waiting, her hands hovering over the glowing panels of the archive. "Good morning, Mr. Voss," she said. "I have been thinking about our work yesterday. The traces of your fiancé are stronger than we expected." Ethan nodded. "I could feel it too. But I want to understand how this works. How can emotions travel across space? How can humans leave a mark so strong?" Lyra's translucent skin shimmered faintly as she spoke. "Emotions are different from other forms of energy. They are not bound by distance in the same way that matter or light is. When humans interact deeply with the universe through memory, love, hope, or even laughter, they leave patterns behind. Some of these patterns are special. They can resonate with beings like me." Ethan leaned closer to the panels, fascinated. "So it's not just memory, it's energy? Like human energy?" Lyra tilted her head. "Yes, but not energy in the way you think. It is not electricity or light. It is essence. What humans leave behind is more than thought. It is warmth, courage, kindness, and hope. These things can touch anyone, even beings who are very different from you." Ethan felt a shiver of wonder. He had spent his life studying human achievements, technology, space exploration, science, but he had never considered that humanity's true power could be emotional. That even aliens could feel it. And even the stars themselves might hold traces of human kindness. "Do you think it is why humans inspire others?" he asked. Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes. Even when we do not fully understand them, we feel their influence. You do not need to meet a human to feel their courage, their laughter, or their love. Sometimes, the echoes are all that remain, and that is enough." Ethan looked at her, realizing something profound. Humanity had always been curious, adventurous, and compassionate. And it seemed that those qualities were not limited by space, distance, or species. Even here, thousands of light years away, humans could leave a mark simply by being themselves. Lyra reached for another panel and touched it. A soft light spread across the hologram, forming faint shapes of humans in various acts of kindness, sharing food, helping others, laughing together under alien skies. Each gesture seemed to shimmer with life. Ethan felt an emotional pull he could not explain, as though the room itself were alive with human warmth. "This is incredible," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's like humans are everywhere, even where they've never been." Lyra's eyes shone with emotion. "Yes, and some humans leave stronger echoes than others. Your fiancée, she is one of those." Ethan felt his heart tighten. "So, she made a mark here, without even knowing it." Lyra nodded. "Yes. And now it is time for you to see how far these echoes can reach. There is a chamber in the archive, one that few humans have entered. It allows one to interact with the patterns themselves, to experience the traces of human emotion directly." Ethan's curiosity surged. "Can we go there?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Yes, but you must be careful. The chamber shows more than memory. It shows essence. It is personal." He followed her down a narrow corridor that curved like a spiral through the heart of Navarra. The walls were smooth and cool, glowing faintly with lines of light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Ethan marveled at the alien architecture. Everything about Navarra was designed to harmonize with life. Every curve, every glow seemed meant to evoke calm and wonder. Finally, they reached a heavy door. Lyra touched it with her hand, and it slid open silently. Inside was a large circular room, bathed in soft white light. The air was warm and smelled faintly of metal and flowers, a combination that made Ethan's chest tighten with curiosity and anticipation. "This is the Chamber of Echoes," Lyra explained. "Here, humans can experience the resonance of their kind. It is not a record of the past. It is a living presence. You may see your fiancée, or feel her, in ways words cannot describe." Ethan swallowed hard. "I want to try." Lyra guided him to the center of the chamber. As he stood there, the light shifted, forming shapes that seemed to shimmer and dance. At first, they were abstract, like colors moving in patterns. But gradually, the forms began to resemble people. Faces appeared, humans laughing, talking, and sharing small acts of care. Ethan's breath caught as he recognized familiar expressions, gestures, and postures. And then, he saw her. Amara. Not just as a photograph, but alive in a new way. Her smile, her eyes, her laughter all radiating warmth that filled the room. Ethan stepped closer, reaching out instinctively, though there was nothing to touch except light and energy. "She's here," he whispered. "It's really her." End quote. Lyra nodded. "Not her body, not the physical Amara, but her essence. The parts of her that make her, her. Those parts have reached across the stars and left an imprint on this world. You can feel her presence because it is strong, it is human." Ethan closed his eyes, letting the light wash over him. He could feel her kindness, her curiosity, her gentle humor. It was like a warm breeze brushing past his soul, leaving a sense of peace and joy he had never experienced before. In that moment, he realized that humans were more than explorers or thinkers. They were carriers of light in a dark universe, able to touch others not through power or technology, but through the depth of their being. As he stood there, a thought struck him. If human emotions can resonate this way, then maybe humans are meant to share themselves, not just with other humans, but with the universe itself. "Do all humans leave these echoes?" he asked. Lyra's eyes shone softly. "Yes, but not all are strong enough to be felt beyond their own worlds. Most are gentle whispers, but some, those who love, who hope, who give freely, leave imprints that last for centuries, sometimes millennia. Your fiancé is one of them." Ethan felt a swell of pride and awe. He had always known that humans were capable of great things, but he had never realized that the greatest achievement was simply being human, to love, to care, to leave traces of oneself that could inspire others, even aliens, was a power beyond any technology or weapon. Hours passed as Ethan explored the chamber, watching other echoes interact with each other. He saw humans comforting each other in times of difficulty, sharing joy, and showing courage in quiet ways. The room was alive with emotion, and he could feel it flowing into him, warming his heart and filling his mind with wonder. At one point, he glanced at Lyra. She was silent, watching the echoes with a faint smile. "Do you understand now?" she asked softly. Ethan nodded. "Yes. Humans, we're not just explorers or scientists. We're something else. We carry hope, kindness, and love. And somehow, those things matter even here, even for you." Lyra's smile deepened. "Yes. And because of that, the galaxy remembers you. Every kind act, every moment of joy, it stays. It echoes." Ethan felt a quiet determination building inside him. If human emotions could resonate across galaxies, then it was his duty not just as a historian, but as a human to share them, to ensure that humanity's light reached farther. Not with weapons or force, but with care, laughter, and hope. As he left the Chamber of Echoes, holding the photograph of Amara close, he realized that the universe was more connected than he had ever imagined. Distance did not diminish love. Differences did not prevent understanding. Humanity, in all its warmth and creativity, could touch even the most alien hearts. And for the first time, Ethan felt a sense of purpose that went beyond any mission or study. He was part of something larger, part of a force that could shape worlds, not with power, but with the simple act of being human. Lyra walked beside him, her translucent form glowing softly. "There is more to discover," she said. "More humans, more echoes, more ways your kind can inspire the galaxy." Ethan smiled. "Then let's find them. Let's see how far this can go." And as the twin suns of Novara rose again, casting warm light across the glowing towers, Ethan knew that humanity's journey was only beginning, and that the echoes of their hearts would reach further than anyone could imagine. The next morning, Novara's twin suns rose slowly, spilling soft golden light across the translucent towers. Ethan felt a quiet excitement in his chest. The previous day had changed everything. He had seen the power of human emotions, felt how their warmth could ripple across species and light years, but he knew there was more to do. Humans were not just carriers of feelings, they were problem solvers, inventors, and dreamers. And Novara, with all its alien sophistication, had challenges that only human ingenuity might help solve. Lyra met him at the archive, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the morning light. "Mr. Voss," she said, "there is something I want you to see. Our energy system, it has become unstable. Minor fluctuations are harmless to us, but they risk losing some historical records stored in our archives. Perhaps you can help." Ethan's brow furrowed. "Energy fluctuations? How? Is it a malfunction?" Lyra shook her head. "Not exactly. The system is adaptive. Like us, it responds to environmental changes, but it has no understanding of emotion. It is technical, but it lacks creativity." Ethan smiled. That was something humans were excellent at, seeing possibilities others overlooked. "Show me the system," he said. Lyra led him through corridors that twisted and glowed with light. They arrived at a large hall where rows of crystalline panels floated above the floor. The panels hummed softly, shifting colors as if they were alive. Ethan could feel the subtle changes in the air, a kind of tension he could not see, only sense. "This is the energy network," Lyra explained. "It powers the archives, the towers, and the living areas. Recently, small disruptions have occurred. We can fix it technically, but it will not prevent future problems. We need a solution that adapts, that can learn and respond without harming the data." Ethan's mind raced. Humans had solved countless impossible problems through imagination and intuition. They saw solutions where others saw obstacles. "I think I understand," he said. "We need a solution that works like emotion." Lyra tilted her head. "Emotion?" "Yes," Ethan replied. "Emotions are flexible. They adjust, adapt, respond to changing circumstances. Love, hope, kindness, they guide humans in unpredictable ways. Maybe we can apply the same principle here." Lyra's eyes shimmered. "Explain." Ethan moved closer to the panels. "If we can design a system that senses fluctuations like we feel emotions, it can respond dynamically. It won't just react to data, it will anticipate needs, adapt, and maintain stability." Lyra's large eyes widened. "You mean, give the network a kind of human-like intuition?" "Yes," Ethan said, smiling. "But not exactly like humans. It doesn't need consciousness. Just the ability to respond creatively to changes, using principles we understand." Lyra led him to a console. "Then let us begin. You will need to teach the system patterns that humans use: flexibility, observation, problem-solving, and empathy for consequences." Ethan spent hours working alongside Lyra. He demonstrated sequences based on human logic, considering multiple possibilities, predicting outcomes, and adjusting strategies. He used metaphors drawn from daily life, balancing light and shadow, listening to small signals before they became problems, paying attention to what others might need. Each principle, while simple for humans, proved revolutionary for the alien system. As the day passed, Ethan saw the network begin to shift. The crystalline panels glowed steadily, colors flowing like liquid sunlight. Small disruptions arose occasionally, but the system adapted, adjusting instantly without any human intervention. The hum of the archive became a gentle, harmonious sound, as if the building itself were breathing. Lyra watched in awe. I have never seen the network respond like this. It is alive, Ethan laughed softly. It's not alive, at least not like you or me. But it has learned to think in the human way. Flexible. Curious. Responsive. That's our gift. We see solutions beyond immediate data. We imagine possibilities others don't. Lyra tilted her head, studying him. So, humans are more than technology or strength. You are inventors, problem solvers, guides for understanding. Yes, Ethan said. And we don't even always realize it. We solve problems with creativity, cooperation, and empathy. That's what makes us remarkable. The network hummed steadily now, bathing the hall in a gentle glow. Ethan felt a deep satisfaction. Not only had he helped save the archive's precious memories, but he had also left a piece of human ingenuity embedded in Novara itself, a living system that could adapt, grow, and respond like humans do. Later, as he walked with Lyra through the gardens of Novara, Ethan reflected on what they had accomplished. The gardens were unlike anything on Earth. Plants with translucent leaves glowed faintly, reflecting the light of the twin suns, while streams of liquid crystal ran through winding channels. Yet even in this alien beauty, he noticed the similarities to human creativity patterns, balance, and a sense of life in every detail. You've done something incredible, Lyra said, her voice soft. Not just fixing the network, but leaving a mark that is human. The archives, the towers, even the gardens feel different now. Alive in a new way. Ethan smiled. It's a reminder that humans carry more than knowledge. We carry the ability to change our surroundings not by force, but by understanding, observing, and imagining better ways to do things. Lyra glanced at him, her eyes thoughtful. And that is why we feel humans so strongly. Your kind does not just exist. You touch things. You improve things. You inspire life itself. Ethan's heart swelled. He thought of Amara and the echoes in the Chamber of Echoes. Humans could leave traces not just in memory, but in action, and those actions could ripple across worlds, influencing even those who were not human. Do you think this is what humans have always done? He asked. Not just explore, not just survive, but make things better wherever they go? Lyra nodded slowly. Yes. Even without realizing it, your species leaves traces of hope, creativity, and care. And now, you've taught us that we can apply those lessons here. Ethan paused, thinking about the many ways humans had shaped Novara without even knowing it. The Chamber of Echoes had shown the power of human emotion. Now, this network had shown the power of human ingenuity. He wondered what other possibilities awaited if humans and Altherians worked together, blending heart and mind. As they walked, Lyra stopped near a small pond of glowing liquid crystal. The reflection of Novara's towers shimmered across the surface. Ethan gazed into the light, imagining the countless stars beyond the colony, the worlds humanity had touched, and the possibilities yet to come. Humans are amazing, he said softly. Not because we're the strongest or the smartest, but because we see solutions. We care, and we create. That is our true strength. Lyra smiled. And now you've shared that with us. You've made Novara better not just technically, but spiritually. We feel it, even if we cannot fully explain it. Ethan's thoughts turned once more to Amara. He wished she could see this world, feel the echoes she had left, and witness how human ingenuity could inspire life even in an alien civilization. Perhaps, he thought, that was the real gift humans brought to the stars. Not conquest, not technology, but the power to leave every place they touched, a little brighter, a little wiser, a little warmer. As evening fell, the twin suns casting long shadows across Novara, Ethan and Lyra returned to the archive. The crystalline panels now glowed steadily, a testament to their collaboration. He placed Amara's photograph near the console, letting her warmth blend with the network's soft hum. "This is just the beginning," Ethan said quietly. "Humans can touch so many worlds and inspire so many beings, and it all starts with being ourselves creative, caring, curious, and brave." Lyra's eyes shone in the dim light. "Then let us continue, Mr. Voss. Let us see how far your kind can reach." And as the stars appeared in the sky above Novara, Ethan knew that humanity's journey was far from over. With each act of ingenuity, every spark of creativity, humans could leave traces of hope across the galaxy, not by power or force, but by imagination, care, and the simple brilliance of being human. For the first time, Ethan felt certain. The universe was ready for humans, and humans were ready for the universe. And somewhere deep in the glowing archives of Novara, the faint echo of Amara's laughter shimmered, a reminder that even across light years, human ingenuity and love could light the darkest corners of the cosmos. The following morning, Ethan awoke to the gentle hum of Novara. The twin suns cast a soft light across the colony's towers, glinting off the crystalline panels like golden fire. After yesterday's success with the energy network, he felt a quiet pride. Humans had left their mark here not just through emotion or memory, but through ingenuity. Yet, as he walked through the glowing corridors of the hollow archive, a new sense of unease settled over him. Lyra was waiting near the Chamber of Echoes, her eyes reflecting a faint shimmer of concern. "Mr. Voss," she said softly, "there is something you should know. A rare occurrence has begun within the archive's memory systems. Some echoes are beginning to conflict with each other." Ethan frowned. "Conflict? What do you mean?" Lyra gestured toward a panel showing overlapping human memories and Altherian experiences. At first glance, everything seemed calm, but closer observation revealed subtle distortions. Certain echoes were interfering with others, creating confusion within the archive's delicate network. "It is not dangerous," Lyra explained. "But if left unresolved, the system could lose coherence. We may risk distorting important memories, human and Altherian alike." Ethan's mind raced. The Chamber of Echoes had already demonstrated the power of human emotion. The energy network had shown the power of human ingenuity. But now, he faced a new challenge, one that required judgment, empathy, and wisdom. Humans had the ability to guide others, to resolve conflict without force. Perhaps this was another test. "Show me," he said, stepping closer to the panel. Lyra touched the display, and the overlapping echoes shifted into view. Ethan saw human memories mingling with Altherian impressions. At first, the interactions were beautiful, shared laughter, gentle guidance, moments of curiosity, but then small inconsistencies appeared. A human memory of playful laughter clashed with an Altherian memory of quiet reflection. Minor, but noticeable. If unresolved, these mismatches could grow, creating tension across the archive. Ethan's brow furrowed. "It's not a technical problem," he said slowly. "It's a misunderstanding." Lyra nodded. "Yes, and humans are capable of resolving these in ways that are subtle, intelligent, and compassionate." Ethan took a deep breath. "Then that's what we need to do. We need to mediate, not impose. We need to help the echoes understand each other without erasing either one." Lyra's large eyes softened. "Do you know how?" Ethan smiled faintly. "We do it every day. When humans disagree, we listen, we empathize, we find common ground. We don't force others to change. We help them see the value in cooperation and understanding." They entered the Chamber of Echoes, and Ethan focused on the overlapping patterns. He could feel the minor tension, the mismatched energies struggling to find harmony. It reminded him of human families or communities. Differences were natural, but communication and empathy could resolve almost anything. "Let's start with understanding," he said. "We need to see what each echo is trying to express." He reached toward one of the human echoes. A soft light expanded around it, revealing a small scene. A child laughing as they played with friends. Ethan could feel the joy and curiosity in the memory. Next, he examined the Altherian echo that conflicted with it. It depicted a young Altherian observing the world quietly, absorbing details with careful thought. The tension arose because the exuberance of one seemed overwhelming to the other. Ethan smiled. "This is not bad," he said softly. "It's just different. Both are valuable. Both can coexist." He began to work carefully, weaving a subtle pattern between the two echoes. Using principles of human empathy, he encouraged the memories to acknowledge each other. He imagined the child's laughter as playful music, not noise, and the quiet observation as attentive listening, not indifference. Slowly, the colors and shapes shifted, blending harmoniously. The minor tension faded, replaced by a sense of unity. Lyra watched in awe. "You are teaching them to cooperate. Without force. Without erasing individuality." Ethan nodded. "That's what humans do. We find solutions that honor differences, not erase them. That's our strength." For hours, he moved from one conflicting echo to another, helping human and Altherian memories align. He used patience, creativity, and careful observation, often imagining himself explaining concepts gently to a friend. Each adjustment brought subtle warmth into the chamber. Ethan realized that even in memory, humans could guide, inspire, and resolve conflicts. As he worked, he noticed something unexpected. One memory, his fiancée, Amara's echo, was stronger than the rest. Her warmth and curiosity seemed to radiate across multiple overlapping echoes, acting as a bridge between conflicting patterns. Ethan realized that human influence was not just about intellect or invention. Sometimes, it was about presence, care, and the ability to inspire understanding. Her echo, "It's helping," he said softly to Lyra. "Even across light years, her kindness and curiosity are guiding these memories to harmony." Lyra's eyes shimmered. "It seems humans can lead without commanding. They influence through empathy and care." "It is remarkable." Hours passed as the chamber grew more balanced. The once conflicting memories now formed intricate patterns of cooperation. Ethan could see humans and Altherians laughing together, sharing observations, and learning from each other in a symphony of understanding. The archive was alive, not just with memory, but with harmony. Finally, Ethan stepped back, exhausted but satisfied. He looked at Lyra. "We've done it. The echoes are aligned. They understand each other without losing their uniqueness." Lyra nodded, her translucent form glowing softly. "And it was done. Human style. Through empathy, patience, and careful understanding. No force, no erasure. Just cooperation." Ethan smiled faintly. "That's what humans do best. We can solve problems not by overpowering them, but by understanding them. By finding solutions that respect everyone involved." Lyra's eyes reflected admiration. "You've not just guided the echoes. You've shown us something deeper. Humans are capable of shaping harmony, even where differences seem impossible to reconcile." Ethan paused, thinking of the stars beyond Novara. He realized that the galaxy, with all its diversity and differences, could benefit from human values. Humans were more than explorers, inventors, or historians. They were mediators, peacemakers, and builders of understanding. Their power did not lie in strength or force, but in empathy, cooperation, and the ability to see solutions others overlooked. He glanced at Amara's photograph resting near the console. Her presence had guided him, just as it had guided the echoes. Her warmth, kindness, and curiosity were not confined to Earth. They resonated here, influencing life in ways she could never have imagined. "Humans leave more than footprints," he said softly. We leave understanding. We leave hope. We leave bridges between worlds. Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the glowing chamber. Then we are fortunate to have you here. You remind us that differences can be celebrated, that conflict can be resolved without harm, and that cooperation can create beauty. Ethan felt a surge of pride, not for himself, but for humanity. He realized that the true mark humans left on the universe was not measured in technology or territory, but in how they could inspire harmony, kindness, and understanding across species and worlds. As the twin suns of Novara began to set, casting golden light across the archives, Ethan stepped outside with Lyra. The colony glowed softly under the evening sky, each tower reflecting light like a jewel. He looked at the stars stretching beyond, endless and mysterious, and felt a quiet determination. Humans had already touched Novara in ways that mattered. They had left traces of emotion, ingenuity, and understanding. And now, they had proven that even in the face of conflict, they could find solutions that honored everyone involved. Ethan turned to Lyra. "This is just the beginning," he said. "We can help other worlds too. Humans can show that cooperation and empathy are as powerful as any invention or discovery." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Then let us continue together. The galaxy is vast, and your kind has much to teach, if only others are willing to learn." Ethan smiled, feeling hope blossom within him. Humanity's journey was far from over. Across stars and civilizations, they could leave marks that mattered not just in history or memory, but in the hearts and minds of all who encountered them. And as the first stars appeared in Novara's evening sky, he knew one thing clearly. Humanity's true strength lay in its ability to inspire, to create, and to unite, even across light years of difference. For Ethan, for Amara, and for all of humanity, the choice was simple: to continue leaving traces of hope, understanding, and kindness wherever they went, and to prove, in every corner of the galaxy, that humans could illuminate the darkest spaces with nothing more than care, creativity, and heart. The days that followed were filled with excitement and quiet wonder. Ethan moved through Novara like a bridge between two worlds. The Chamber of Echoes had been balanced, the energy network stabilized, and the archives were alive with harmonized memories. But he knew there was more to do. Humanity's influence was just beginning, and he wanted to see how far it could reach. Lyra guided him to a platform overlooking the colony. From here, the twin suns reflected on the towers, casting colors across the crystalline streets. Ethan gazed into the vast darkness beyond, the endless stars stretching across the galaxy. Somewhere out there, humans had traveled, left traces, and now, in this remote colony, they had made a difference once more. "We have done much," Lyra said softly. "But I feel there is more to your kind than even we have seen. Your influence can extend further." Ethan nodded. "Humans leave marks in unexpected ways, not just through work, invention, or memory, but through kindness, understanding, and hope. That's something even the stars can feel." Lyra's large eyes shimmered. "Then let us see what can be done." Together, they returned to the archives, where the echoes of human and Altherian memories danced softly. Ethan had spent weeks studying the patterns, noticing that some echoes were weak, isolated, and unnoticed. They were fragments of forgotten acts, small gestures that had not yet reached their potential. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a faint glow. "These are moments humans left behind long ago. Little acts of hope, courage, and creativity. Alone, they are weak, but if we connect them, they could shine brightly. They could inspire more than just Novara, perhaps even the galaxy." Lyra tilted her head. "Do you mean amplify them?" "Yes," Ethan said. "But carefully. We must preserve their essence, not change it. We just help them reach their full potential. Show the galaxy what humans can do." For days, Ethan worked with Lyra, tracing human echoes, linking small memories, and creating patterns of light and energy. Every time he connected a memory, he could feel its warmth growing stronger. Laughter became brighter, hope more resilient, creativity more vivid. The archive seemed to hum with life, as if the universe itself were responding. One evening, Ethan paused and looked around. Lyra, it's like a beacon. Lyra's eyes widened. A beacon? Yes, Ethan said, his voice quiet but filled with wonder. A beacon of what humanity is. Of hope, kindness, creativity. Not just for Novara, but for anyone who might come across it. The stars can see it, feel it, and maybe it can guide others, just like humans have always guided each other. Lyra studied the glowing patterns, and slowly, a smile spread across her face. It is beautiful. Your kind can inspire without speaking, without touching. Just by existing, you can change worlds. Ethan smiled, thinking of Amara. Her laughter, her warmth, her curiosity, it had been the spark that guided him through the Chamber of Echoes. Now, through this beacon, her essence, along with countless other humans, could shine across the galaxy. The next morning, the beacon was complete. Waves of glowing light flowed through the archives and beyond. Reaching into the void of space, Ethan stood with Lyra, watching as the glow touched the towers, the gardens, and even the distant landscapes of Novara. The colony itself seemed transformed, alive with energy, emotion, and possibility. Do you think it will reach others? Ethan asked. Lyra nodded. It will. The energy of human hope is strong. It can cross distances that even light cannot. Your kind has always done this, without knowing it, leaving traces that inspire, guide, and encourage. Ethan felt a swell of pride. Humans had always reached for the stars, driven by curiosity and courage. But now he realized that their true power lay not in exploration alone, but in what they left behind, echoes of understanding, hope, and joy. Over the following days, the beacon's effect became clear. The Altherians who had lived in quiet routine began to interact in new ways. They laughed more freely, collaborated more creatively, and approached problems with subtle intuition, guided by the patterns Ethan had woven. Humans' influence was no longer confined to memories, it had become a living, breathing presence in the colony. One morning, as Ethan walked through the glowing gardens, he noticed Lyra observing a group of young Altherians, experimenting with the liquid crystal streams. Their curiosity reminded him of human children, playing with simple tools, finding joy in discovery, imagining possibilities. They are learning from the beacon, Lyra said softly. Not just what humans do, but how humans think, how humans feel. It inspires them. Ethan knelt beside a crystal stream, touching the flowing light. That's what humans do best, he said. We leave traces that guide others, that help them grow. We inspire not by force, but by showing what's possible. Lyra smiled. Then the beacon is more than light. It is humanity itself. Weeks passed, and word of Novara's beacon reached nearby colonies. Ships arrived, not in conflict, but in curiosity. Aliens of different species came to witness the glowing archives and the gardens alive with innovation and harmony. Each visitor felt the echoes of human emotion and ingenuity, and many left inspired, carrying the lessons of empathy, creativity, and cooperation back to their own worlds. Ethan stood at the edge of the highest tower one evening, looking out at the stars dotted with alien ships and distant colonies. He could feel the warmth of countless human echoes radiating through the galaxy. He thought of Amara, imagining her laughter reaching across light years, guiding him and countless others. We did it, he whispered to Lyra, who stood beside him. We've shown that humans, we can make a difference without force, without conquest, just by being ourselves. Lyra's eyes reflected the distant stars. And you've shown that the universe can remember, honor, and respond to the light of your kind. This is what humans do best. Ethan smiled. Then let's keep going. There are more worlds to touch, more echoes to connect. Humanity's journey isn't finished, not even close. In the weeks that followed, Ethan and Lyra worked together to extend the beacon's influence. They mapped distant human echoes, guiding their energy to interact with alien memories and systems in ways that promoted understanding and cooperation. Small colonies became hubs of creativity, learning, and joy. Even isolated species that had never encountered humans felt the subtle guidance of hope and kindness embedded in the galaxy. One evening, as the twin suns set over Novara, Ethan reflected on everything that had happened. Humans had traveled to the stars for curiosity and survival, but their true legacy was connection. The echoes of their emotions, the ingenuity of their minds, and the warmth of their hearts could influence civilizations, inspire life, and illuminate the darkest corners of space. He thought of Amara again, smiling softly. Her photograph still rested in the archives, but now her essence had become part of something larger, a living beacon for the galaxy. She was not just a memory, she was a force of hope, curiosity, and compassion. Ethan realized that humanity had a responsibility and a gift. They could leave marks that mattered. They could inspire, guide, and uplift. And unlike technology, these marks did not fade or break. They grew, spread, and touched lives in ways no one could predict. Lyra approached him, her translucent form glowing softly. "Mr. Voss, the galaxy has seen your kind. It has learned from you. And now, it remembers. Humans are more than explorers or inventors. You are guides, inspirers, and beacons of hope." Ethan nodded. "Then we keep shining. Humanity has only just begun." As night fell over Novara, the beacon shimmered brighter than ever. Its light reached into the stars, a message of hope, creativity, and kindness, waiting to inspire anyone who encountered it. And somewhere, across the vast expanse of space, the echoes of human laughter, ingenuity, and compassion touched distant civilizations, whispering a single truth: humans could illuminate the universe not with force or power, but with heart, creativity, and the courage to inspire. The stars themselves seemed to respond, twinkling with the quiet recognition of humanity's gift. And in that recognition, Ethan felt something extraordinary. The knowledge that humans, no matter how far from home, could always leave the galaxy better than they found it. For Amara, for humanity, and for all the worlds yet to be touched, the beacon shone brightly, proof that the light of human spirit could never be extinguished.